session we are going to cover the newspaper, that is the Hindu, for May 27, 2026 comprehensively. We will be doing a comprehensive analysis of the Hindu for this day. Now this session will cover important topics for your prelims, editorial analysis for mains, and key concepts related to UPSC. So make sure you stay till the end. Now before we begin, this session is especially curated to help you, to aid you in your UPSC preparation, and thus it has that UPSC perspective. Now you can download these notes from our Telegram channel and can also visit our website for a comprehensive point of view, and the link of both of these are given in the description. Now let us start with the first topic of the day. The first topic of the day is about India, US, and a deal on rare earth elements. Now it is about rare earth elements, hence it becomes important for your prelims, and in mains it will be important for your GS3 science and technology. Now let us see what the article is saying. The framework follows growing concerns over China's export controls on strategic metals. Australia, Japan join fellow Quad members in separate frameworks. Now we know that the Quad members, that is the four members, India, US, Australia, and Japan. All these four members under Quad leadership or under the Quad name has agreed to cooperate on critical minerals as well. Now these are the minerals which are important or which are basically critical to carry out the 2021 or 21st century framework of IT and technology. Rare earth elements are the part of these critical elements or critical minerals only. Now this is a special category of these critical minerals as they are very rare. Now some of these critical minerals could be abundant and could be available all over the world, but these rare earth elements, they are not present in abundant quantity. We have to spend a lot of money to extract their good quality, and these are specifically present in some parts of the world. In both these areas, China is taking a lead, which directly affects the supply chain resilience, because you cannot be dependent on one particular country for the assembly or for the production, because then your leverage is reduced to one particular nation only. And that is why India and US is now drawing up a deal on rare earth elements. Now let us see what are these rare earth elements and what is the deal about. The rare earth elements, in short we call it REEs. What are these? These are the group of 17. Remember, 17. It is important for prelims, since prelims is getting very factual. You have to take care of these small details, these small numbers. It is a group of 17 metallic elements consisting of 15 lanthanides, scandium, and yttrium. These two are also very important. There have been questions in previous years where they have mentioned the names of these REEs or critical minerals. Now these are rare because they are not actually rare but occur in low concentration and are difficult to extract and process. This is what we just talked about, that the quality of these elements is a big issue. Since they are present in low concentration, the amount that goes into enrich these elements is humongous, and thus not every country can afford it, and therefore it is difficult to extract and process these minerals. These are often called as industrial vitamins. Now this is the terminology that helps you fetch marks in your mains answer writing. Industrial vitamins, these are also known as industrial vitamins. Now list of rare earth elements, 15 lanthanides. You have to take care of these names. Just read at least once, go through these names once, and you'll feel more confident since you have gone through these names, even though you cannot remember all of these, but it is very important to go through all these names once. We have lanthanum, we have cerium, we have praseodymium, we have neodymium, promethium, samarium, euporium, lutetium, yttrium, thulium, erbium, holmium, dysprosium, terbium, gadolinium. So basically, you can also remember that mostly metals that are ending with em are rare earth elements, even though there could be some exceptions. But this is how you can remember it generically. Then we have additional elements scandium and yttrium, so total 17 rare earth elements. Now, why are these elements, rare earth elements, important? These are important for your high tech and clean energy technologies. These are used in electric vehicles, wind turbines, semiconductors, defense systems, missiles, fighter jets, smartphones, satellites. Therefore, almost all the important things that happen in our day-to-day life, from our security to our daily lives, these rare earth elements play a major role. It is also essential for net zero transition and energy security. Now, India has given us 2070 for its net zero emissions. See, to convert India, to convert coal based economy into a renewable based economy, we have to achieve this net zero transition by 2070. And REEs, that is rare earth elements, are playing an important role in that. Therefore, it becomes all the way more important for India to focus on rare earth elements. Now, let us see what are the major uses. Neodymium. Now, this is also important for your prelims, because prelims may ask that what particular mineral is important for what use. See, neodymium, it has high strength. It is used in magnets, EV motors, and hard drives. Dysprosium is a high temperature, again used in magnets and wind turbines. Cerium is a catalytic converter, polishing material. Then we have lanthanum, nickel metal hydride batteries, again, so it is very, very important for your EV cars, and it is also used in lenses. Then we have yttrium, which is LEDs, lasers, semiconductors. Then we have samarium for missiles, nuclear control rods. Now, since India is focusing on nuclear energy, now you can understand that how important samarium has become for India. And it is also used in magnets. Now, let us see what are the rare earth elements that are found in India. Monazite. Now, there has been a question on monazite in previous years. We'll see. This monazite contains thorium, which is again used in nuclear energy or nuclear reactors, and rare earth. Then we also have a mineral bastanicite, which contains cerium rare earth element, and xenotime, which contains yttrium. Now, monazite is found along east coast, that is Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. But you have to see that it is present only on the east coast and not here. So not in the entire coastline of India. It is not present in the entire coastline of India. This was the major source. Why REEs are geopolitically important? Why India and US are signing this agreement? Why is it geopolitically important? It is because it gives supply chain resilience, so that one country is not able to weaponize the supply chain. Then it is also important because of China US rivalry, and again, that is why India has a role to play. Then we have technology nationalism, essential for defense and advanced technology, critical for green energy transition. Now, with all these elements, since there is a lot of technology being used in extraction of these rare earth elements, there's a lot of money that goes in. We have environmental concerns as well. REE mining and processing generate radioactive waste. So this is the first hazard. Second is it also causes water pollution, toxic sludge, land degradation, and there is a need for sustainable and responsible mining practice. Now, there has been important schemes being launched by India, being launched by Government of India related to rare earth elements. Let us look at them. National Critical Mineral Mission. Its aim is to secure critical mineral supply overseas, acquisition, domestic exploration, and in fact promote recycling and processing as well. Second is Kabil. It is a joint venture of NALCO, HCL, and MSCL. You have to remember these could be asked in a statement in prelims. Its aim is to acquire strategic mineral assets abroad. It has, now this is a question for you, it really opened its office abroad. In which country? You should have a look at that. Then we have PLI's production linked incentives. We are giving supports to electronics, semiconductors, manufacturing, etc. Then this is the fourth step that India and US is also leading towards critical mineral partnership. Now let us see what are the important terms. We have seen that critical minerals, we have been talking about critical minerals, minerals essential for economic security, national security, and clean energy transition. Then there are permanent magnets. Strong magnets made using REEs are known as permanent magnets. There is a green energy role. We have discussed this already, that wind, solar, energy storage, in fact, even nuclear energy, and then EV batteries and motors, all of these requires REEs. Therefore, REEs has a very important role in green energy transition. Now we have discussed positive and negative side, but let's just explore it once again. It helps in export competitiveness, IT sector gains, remittances rises, and then supports green transition. The problem is that it has environmental problems, environmental concerns, radioactive waste. It also leads to water pollution, and there is a high processing cost, so much so that most of the countries are unable to afford it, and therefore we have to rely on developed countries. Important groupings, we have talked about Quad and these four countries, that there is an important sector of critical minerals and critical mineral partnership going amongst these countries. Now let us look at the production and reserves, which is very important for your prelims. China is the largest producer at also around with around 70% mining and 90% processing. Second comes Australia, mines. It is a major mining country. Then third is USA, fourth is Myanmar, and fifth is Vietnam. Vietnam also has very large reserves. India has majorly monazite reserves. China dominates global refining, separation technologies, and magnet production. In REE's, processing capacity matters more than mining, which basically means that you can mine, but if you cannot take out the particular concentration of that particular mineral, it won't be of much help. Therefore, you need processing technologies much more than the mining capacity itself. In both of these arenas, however, China is leading. Therefore, there is a big threat to supply chain resilience. Now, this was all about REEs. Now, let us look at the previous year questions that we have had regarding these rare earth elements. With reference to critical minerals, consider the following statements. Graphite, lithium, cobalt are considered as critical minerals, are essential for green energy technologies. So, this is true. India is fully self-sufficient in all critical mineral required for EV manufacturing. Now this is totally false. This is what we have been discussing. Therefore, the answer becomes 1 and 2. In 2023, there was again a question that which of the above are used in the manufacturing of EV batteries? Lithium, graphite, cobalt. Answer was D. All of these are used in batteries. 2020, there was a question about monazite. Monazite contains thorium. We have covered this. Yes. Is a source of rare earth element. Again, yes. India has significant monazite deposits along its coast. True. Answer is 1, 2, 3. So if the statement was that India has significant monazite deposits along its entire coast, the statement would have been wrong in that case. In 2019, we have another question. Rare earth elements are essential for manufacturing of permanent magnets. We covered this. Yes, permanent magnets are used in wind turbines and electric vehicles. Again, true. China dominates global rare earth processing capacity. Again, true. Therefore, the answer is 1, 2, and 3. In 2016 also, we had another question. Lithium, graphite, thorium. Graphite is used in nuclear fuel, thorium is used as fertilizer production, lithium is used in rechargeable batteries. Now thorium is used as a nuclear fuel while graphite is used as a fertilizer production. Lithium is used in batteries. This is true, therefore the answer becomes 1 only. 2013, another question on REEs. Now you can understand that how important this particular topic is for your UPSC CSE prelims. Which of the following is or are strategic minerals used for advanced technology industries? Rare earth elements, lithium and cobalt. Answer is D, all of the above. Now this was about REEs. Now let us jump on to the second important topic of the day, that is about Rajya Sabha defection and constitutional questions. So here defection, that is schedule 10, becomes important. Now we will see that what is a defection, what is ADL, that is anti-defection law, who can announce that a particular member has defected, and what are the exceptions for this. This is also an important topic for your prelims. There has been repeated question with respect to ADL in UPSC CSE. Now let us see what is anti-defection law. Now anti-defection law is a constitutional mechanism to curb political defection and ensure party discipline and political stability. So basically, if a person say wins from party A and now party B offers him a lot of money, now the people of India has the power to choose a particular person to give him a seat in Rajya Sabha, or to give him a seat in Lok Sabha and thereby Rajya Sabha as well. Now we have entrusted our trust in that particular party and in that particular person, not the person alone. That is why he cannot change his party just for the monetary benefits. And there are other reasons as well. Now to maintain party discipline and to avoid such kind of situations, there was a clause added as Schedule 10 in Constitution of India as anti-defection law. It seeks to prevent elected representatives from switching allegiance for personal gain or political advantage. It was enacted through 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. A very important that you have to learn. You have to learn that ADL, anti-defection law, is a part of Schedule 10. And you have to remember that it came through 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. Another important fact that you have to remember is that the term political party is mentioned in Schedule 10. Now constitutional basis, 10th schedule added by 52nd Amendment Act. It was again inserted in 1985 but expanded in 2003. And articles that are involved or that are related with this are Article 1021E and 191. This is for Parliament and this is for state legislature. It involves disqualification grounds. Now what were the objectives? Objectives were to prevent floor crossing. This is what we just discussed, that a person may change the party. It was meant to prevent this. Then promote political stability, strengthen party system. It has an aim of reducing corruption and unethical practices and maintain purity of the mandate given by voters like you and me. Now there is also an exception to this anti-defection law. Say if there are 2/3 people of a particular political party who wants to change their party, say from party A, they go to party B. There are three people in party A. Let's say there are three people in party A and two people out of these wants to change to party B. Then this anti-defection law will not apply. 1/3 of legislature could split and form a separate group without facing disqualification. Now it was said it was earlier 1/3, such as that even one person out of these three members want to convert to party B, then he can, and anti-defection won't apply. This was in 1985, but then it was changed with amendment in 2003. It deleted the split exception, only merger with 2/3 retained. That is, these 2/3 members can merge with another party. Now 10th schedule now has only merger exception, which is what we just discussed, that 2/3 members of one particular party can merge with another party at any time, and this won't come as anti-defection law. Now let us see what is this merger exception. If 2/3 or more of the members of a legislative party merges with another party, such merger will not attract disqualification. Now why is judicial clarity needed? To determine if the original party, so usually all these cases go to Supreme Court and High Courts to clarify that should this be allowed, is this a case of disqualification or not. Now why is this judicial intervention needed? To determine if the original party merges with another or it is just a faction, to prevent speakers from acting as partisan arbiters. Now we will dive deep into it, that why speakers only, to ensure balance between party discipline, to uphold democracy and not just the internal rules of party. Therefore, judicial review is available for anti-defection law. This is the another point that you have to remember, that judicial review is available for anti-defection law. Now let us see what are the key provisions, grounds for disqualification. What are the basic grounds for disqualification of a member? A member shall be disqualified if he or she voluntarily gives up membership of his political party, if votes or abstains from voting in the house contrary to any direction. Now there is usually a whip, a member who's assigned as a position of whip, who has to take care that all the members of the party vote as per the party's ideology. Say if party A said that in a particular case, in a particular B, we are going to vote as yes, and if some of the members vote no in that particular bill, then the whip can take actions, can take disciplinary actions, even may lead to disqualification. Then there is approval of the party is required if a member wishes to deviate. This is basically a sort of resignation. Now we have discussed that there are two exceptions. First was split, second is merger. Split exception does not exist anymore. There is only a merger exception. Then decision making authority. Who can decide that these members, 2/3 members, can merge into another party, or is this a case of disqualification or not? The speaker and chairman of the house decides on the disqualification petitions. Their decision is final. Even though we have judicial review available, but prima facie the decision of the speaker or the chairman of any presiding officer is final. Therefore, speaker or chairman, any presiding authority, is the final authority who decides whether this is the case of a disqualification or not. Then there is a bar on judicial review. Judicial review is available, but it is only partially available. Early provision barred courts from questioning the speaker's decision. This position has changed through judicial interpretations. Now we have learned that initially when this was inserted in Constitution 1985, it was said that there will be no court interference in speaker's or chairman's decision. But with time, judicial interpretations have happened, and it has been said that there is and availability of judicial review. So the decision that has been taken by speaker or chairman, one can go against it in the courts. Now let us see the important cases that are related to anti-defections law. But let us see the recent developments before jumping into the cases. On 10th July 2026, one-third of ruling parties MPs in Rajya Sabha defected to form a separate faction, invoking the split exception. This episode has raised constitutional questions. Now these parties, now what is the problem in this scenario? See, these members are one-third in nature, first of all. Second, they went separately. They went on to make a separate party. Therefore, they went on to split exception. And thus, there are many questions that arose from this particular scenario. Till now, we were only hoping that merger exceptions remains, in which two-third members can merge with another political party. It was not about forming a separate party. Now, what are the questions related? Is the split exception still valid after 2003? Can courts examine the speaker's decision on disqualification? And does the law balance party discipline with parliamentary democracy? Now, these are the questions that will be answered in the subsequent hearings when Supreme Court hears this case. Let us look into important case laws. These case laws can be asked in your prelims. There could be the name given of these case laws, then there could be a match the following question, or these case laws can also be stated in your answers as examples. There has been many questions on ADL in mains as well. Kiloto Holohan case in 1992, it upheld the constitutionality of 10th schedule. It held that speaker's decision is subject to judicial review. Hence, this case is one of the most important cases. Then another case is Ravi S. Naik in 1994. It clarified that voluntarily giving up membership can be inferred from conduct and not just a formal resignation. Say if I'm a member of a party A, but I've been seen in public joining the affairs of party B, I go with them and sit with them and give media statements with them, despite not having given a resignation, a formal resignation to my original party. Even then, this would be considered as resignation only. Then we have G. Vishwanathan versus Speaker 1996 case. Courts can examine whether the decision-making process of the speaker is valid or not. Then we have Nabam Rabia versus Deputy Speaker 2016 case, which states that court can interfere if speaker's decision is arbitrary, biased, or lacks procedural fairness. We have already covered that what are the debates and concerns related to it, that legislators should not turn into rubber stamps, there should not be personal gains, speakers should not act as non-partisan, there should be no biasness, it is important for good governance, it strengthens political parties, it is also important for parliamentary democracy. Now, impact of merger on democracy, that this is important for mains perspective. It prevents instability, allows genuine ideological realignment, and it ensures continuity of governments. While it dilutes voter mandate, weakens internal democracy. We have already discussed this. Now, these are the important provisions at a glance. We have covered all this. Split merger decision is by the presiding officer. Judicial review is available, but on limited grounds. Voluntarily giving up membership also leads to disqualification. Then the way forward is that there should be clear judicial guidelines. There should be a time-bound decision by speakers. This is also a very, very important topic. Speakers may pocket veto the decision. Therefore, that is, they can halt their decision, they can stall their decision of a member being disqualified or not for a much longer anticipated time period. There is no particular time given in constitution in which the speaker or chairman has to make a decision. Therefore, the decision may get stalled even for years. Now, is there a need of independent tribunal or election commission oversight? Should intra-party democracy and transparent decision making take over? And there are reforms that anti-defection law needs to balance discipline with democratic freedoms. Now, these are the questions that has been asked in UPSC CSE prelims with regarding to ADL. It was added by 52 Constitutional Amendment Act 1985. True. Provides for disqualification of members on grounds of defection. Again true. Decision of speaker under 10th schedule is final and cannot be questioned in any court. See, first half of this question is correct. Second half of this question is incorrect. Therefore, the answer becomes 1 and 2 only. Another question in 2022 was about is not a ground of disqualification under 10th schedule. Voluntarily giving up membership is. Voting in parliament against, it is a ground. Contesting election as an independent candidate, it is not. Abstaining from voting contrary to the party's decision, it is. Therefore, the answer is C. There was again a question in 2020. Anti-defection law was introduced by 42nd Amendment Act. Wrong. It was by 52nd Amendment Act 1985. The 9th Constitutional Amendment Act, 91st Act, CAA 2003 deleted the split exception from 10th schedule. We have covered this, yes. Under the 10th schedule, the chairman of Rajya Sabha is the final authority on disqualification. No. The presiding officer, either the chairman of Rajya Sabha or the speaker of Lok Sabha. Therefore, the answer is 2 only. Now, let us come back to another question of 2018. It states that protected under 10th schedule. Merger of a political party with another party protected. A resignation from political party not protected. Split in the political party not protected, even though now there is a question on this statement and we'll have to see what court has to say about this. So the answer for that year was 1 only. There was again a question in 2015 with reference to defection. The power to decide question relating to defection is vested in the Speaker of Lok Sabha. The decision of the Speaker is final and cannot be questioned in courts. Now you can see that how 2015 question was related to 2020 and 2024. This is why previous year questions become important. Now this is the line that the statement that can be used in your conclusion if you have to write an answer on anti-defection law. The goal is not just to prevent defection but to strengthen democracy. So this was all about ADL and we have covered all the dimensions important for your prelims as well as mains. Now let us jump to the editorial analysis for the day. In the editorial analysis, we have to cover the India's critical national infrastructure and its safety. So this particular editorial talks about the critical national infrastructure and how safe is it in the present times. What are the vulnerabilities suggested? Digital vulnerabilities, complex systems. Emerging threats demand a whole of government approach and whole of society approach. Now you have to pick these statements from such articles and add them to your answers to fetch more marks. Now what is the context? Over the few decades, India has rapidly scaled up critical infrastructure and services. Automation, Internet of Things, AI, digitalization have improved efficiency but also created new vulnerabilities. Now, any coin has two sides, positive and negative both. Same is the case with the technology. It has made our day-to-day lives easy, but it also has increased our vulnerabilities. This article is talking about that vulnerability only. The increasing frequency and sophistication of cyber and physical threats pose risk to national security, public safety, economy, and governance. But to understand the vulnerabilities, we need to know that what is critical infrastructure. Those physical or virtual assets, systems, and even networks the incapacity or destruction of which would have a debilitating impact on what? On national security, on economic security, on public health and safety, on social functioning, and on effective governance. All such kind of infrastructure is termed as critical national infrastructure. Now, this particular topic is important for your GS2 security, cyber policy governance, GS3 IT and internal security, and GS4 in case studies, public service, and human security as well. So, any infrastructure which upon destruction can have an important impact on your and my daily day-to-day life is termed as critical national infrastructure. Now, why is CNI important? Because it ensures continuity of essential services and strategic functions. So any infrastructure that provides essential services, be it airports, be it railway stations, be it hospitals such as AIMS, these all are critical national infrastructures. These are directly linked to national power, economic growth, and human well being. There is an interdependence across sectors, means disruption of one could lead and could have a cascading effect across many sectors. Now, say there is a cyber attack on the national grid, national energy grid, security grid. Then the energy will be shut down, there will not be any electricity. Say if it happens in Delhi, there is no electricity running in any government office, there is no electricity running in any government hospital. If there is any surgery going on and the electricity goes away in midst, just imagine what can happen. That is why these particular infrastructures are termed as critical national infrastructure. Now let us see what are the types of critical infrastructure. Energy infrastructure, what we were just talking about, even transport, telecom and ICT, water, wastewater, banking, finance, insurance, defense, strategic installations, information, data centers. Then we have space and nuclear facilities, health infrastructure, and even the food supply chain. The smallest of the attacks on any of these sectors can have a cascading effect on the other sector. Now, complexities of the digital landscape. There is a huge number of interconnected devices because of the Internet of Things. Then use of proprietary and legacy systems, and we suffer from poor security of these. There is a cloud adoption, remote access, wireless networks that has expanded over the country. Data is the new lifeline. Just imagine your day without any kind of data, without any kind of network. No classes, no daily newspaper analysis, no phone calls, no Insta reels, etc. Rapid technology upgradation outspaces security preparedness. That is why we are more vulnerable to such shocks. We are not yet prepared to have or to bear any such shock. Now let us see what are the key vulnerabilities. First one is, so whenever you have to write your answer, say any question, ask what are the vulnerabilities that are possible, then you have to term these points, you have to name these kind of vulnerabilities. First one is digital vulnerability, second is physical vulnerabilities, inadequate perimeter, natural disasters, sabotage, terrorism, espionages, unmanned and remote vehicles, installations, drones, etc. Then we have structural vulnerabilities, complex interdependence, concentration of critical assets, lack of redundancy, inadequate risk assessment, etc. Then emerging threats. What are the emerging threats? We have cyber attacks, we have hacktivism. It is ideologically motivated attacks targeting national infrastructure. Such attack happened on AIMS last year. For 48 hours, no computer of AIMS was working. The usual process got even more delayed since everything got physical for 2 more days. The nation state threats, espionage, sabotage, cyber warfare, then there is terrorism, there is disinformation, which was like very visible in Israel Hamas war. Technology risk, AI misuse, deep fakes, these are also very important. We have seen deep fakes of various celebrities, even of our Prime Minister Modi ji. Autonomous systems vulnerabilities. Now, what are the steps that we have taken? What are the institutes that are present in India to provide us security against these threats? NCIIPC, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Sector, is the nodal agency. Then we have CERT in NADGRIDS, National Security Policy 2013, sectoral regulators, National Infrastructure Pipeline, and PM Gati Shakti to make it all streamlined. And then we have Draft Digital Personal Data Protection Act. These are the terms that you need to mention in your answers. These are very, very important. You have to name these institutions, if not all, at least some of them in your answers. Now, critical infrastructure security. What are the key requirements? What do we need to do? We need to identify and map critical assets. There should be a risk assessment. We need to have strong governance policies. There should be a segmentation, a real-time monitoring, incident response, capacity building, and public-private partnership, security by design, and new infrastructure projects. Now, this was actually the summary of the way forward that you have to write in your answers. Now, what is the way forward? We have already covered that this is a very important statement for your answers. Adopt a whole of government and whole of society approach. You have to prepare a nationally critical index and regular risk audits. Invest in indigenous security technologies. We have to strengthen our present infrastructure, ensure a redundancy, diversification, and decentralization. Regular drills, develop skilled manpower, enforce strict regulations, promote research, innovation, and enhance coordination through PPP models. Now, balancing security and growth. A risk based, proportionate, and technology neutral approach is very, very must. All these points can be summarized into this one statement. The goal is not just protection, but the rapid recovery and continuous surveillance. Now, the conclusion is that critical infrastructure is the backbone of a modern India. In the era of hybrid and complex threats, we need to have a secure, a resilient, and adaptive infrastructure. Security is an enabler of development. It should not act as an inhibitor due to various vulnerabilities. Now, the different dimensions that you need to take care of while writing any UPSC mains answer is the security dimension, national security, then we have economic dimension, social dimension, governance dimension, and even the political dimension. Now, these are the possible mains question we have given for you to practice. We will also be giving the answers to 2 of these questions. But first, you should try to write any of the 2 answers of these given questions based upon the above information that we have just discussed. A secure infrastructure today is a resilient India tomorrow. So this was it for today. I hope you liked the session. If you liked the content that we brought to you, kindly do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Press the bell icon so that you can be updated regularly. And this was it for today. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next session.